people, all right, well, we're going to read this piece of literature, and trigger warning, there's, I don't know, sex that may not be as consensual as you might like today. We read last night, we were talking about Baby It's Cold Outside.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the song from the 40s. And it just baffles me that these young feminists on their way to college, the think tank, listening to hardcore rap about murdering people and women being hoes and stuff like that, are somehow offended by a 70-year-old Christmas song that it seems like the guy might be being too pushy by their standards. I mean, Serial SJW? I mean, like, that's just nuts. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, or it's like them complaining that the Adventures of Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn has the N-word in it when, it's like it's never, or at least, if a book is, I guess, an anti-racist book, people would describe.
Yeah. But all you have to do is read the book. I mean,
and like one librarian I knew from my public school days, she took a Sharpie and would cover the N-word and just cover it with black. So it's like it still has the same meaning, black, right? But like...
Now it's covered with it's safe now. It's sanitized. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, December 4th, 2018. Silver's trading at $14.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,240 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,016. Antiwar.com reports Yemen peace talks are scheduled to start as early as Wednesday of this week, and unlike previous efforts, there is reason to believe that everyone will attend and engage in at least some earnest discussion of ending the conflict. The Houthi delegation is en route with UN Special Envoy Martin Griffiths having already arrived in Sana'a to escort them personally. This is an improvement over the last time when the Houthis could not get guarantees of safe travel and thus were unable to leave the country for the talks. The Houthis also got a demand demand to meet in the process, as a number of wounded Houthis were able to be evacuated this week to Oman, where they will be able to receive treatment in hospitals that haven't been constantly bombed by Saudi warplanes. The Houthis will be traveling by plane to Sweden with Griffiths, and the plane was provided by Kuwait. Diplomats said this was a great confidence-building measure. Talks are expected to focus on aid shipments, large-scale prisoner swaps, and potentially reopening the Sana'a airport, which had been closed by repeated Saudi airstrikes. All this would also lay the groundwork for negotiating a settlement of the war itself. Past efforts have stalled quickly on settling the war, though the Houthis have expressed openness to elections. The Saudi-backed Hadi government has rejected any power-sharing deal, and even though President Hadi's term in office ended years ago, they insist he be put back in power. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports an Alabama man killed by police on Thanksgiving Day when they mistakenly believed him to be a mall gunman was hit in the back by 3 bullets, according to an independent autopsy report on Monday. Ben Crump, a lawyer for the family of E.J. Bradford, released the findings during a news conference. The autopsy determined he was shot 3 times, with 1 bullet entering the back of his head, 1 near the back of his hip, and a 3rd in the neck. Witnesses said Bradford was running away from police at the time he was shot. Crump wrote in a document issued along with the announcement, "There is a laceration of the right side of the face and the eyebrow consistent with falling forward on the right side of the head. The cause of death is gunshot wound to the head. The manner of death is homicide." Police in Hoover, Alabama, near Birmingham, shot Bradford on November 22nd at the River Chase Galleria Mall. The officers had responded to reports of gunfire at the scene and found Bradford allegedly holding a gun. They believed him to be the gunman. The shooting was the result of an alleged altercation between 20-year-old Iran Martinez Daquan Brown and 18-year-old Brian Wilson. Wilson and a 12-year-old girl were injured in the initial altercation. Police arrested Brown a week later in Georgia on an attempted murder charge. Though police initially said Bradford fired the rounds that injured Wilson and the girl, after more interviews and investigations, they said on November 23rd it was unlikely he was the shooter. Police officials said in a statement, "We regret that our initial media release was not totally accurate, but new evidence indicates that it was not." Crump said on Monday, "We believe, based on this forensic evidence, that this officer should have been charged for the crime. There's nothing that justifies him shooting EJ as he's moving away from him. You're not a threat when you're running away." Hoover police officials did not release the name of the officer who fatally shot Bradford, but said he was placed on administrative leave while an internal investigation was being conducted. Bradford's death sparked protest over the officer's alleged excessive use of force, with family members saying the man had a license to carry the gun he held. Bradford's funeral was held on Saturday. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
For the past several years now, area woman Caitlin Mooney has been convinced that each and every one of her friends should be a professional comedian. Our reporters spoke to Caitlin this morning about her, quote, hilarious group of friends.
Karen is so funny. I can't even explain it. She's always just saying whatever on her mind. She has this totally sassy attitude. You just can't help but laugh. My roommate Rashmi, she always has these hilarious stories that, they're just too much. I'm always telling her that she should just go up on stage and talk. Everyone would love it.
Mooney went on to say that her good friend Lauren is so funny she could, quote, definitely be on Saturday Night Live or The Office, a sentiment she echoed about a number of her other acquaintances, including her childhood friend Marcia, her college roommate Angela, her coworker Julie, and even her sister Jennifer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live Tuesday edition. Mark with you.
And Vincent.
Ian is about and should be sitting in a chair here relatively soon. The number, if you wish to talk about, well, we've been talked about what a real American is, economics, even a chemistry call, George H.W. Bush's death.
The geography of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, there was kind of mixed in there, too. The number is 855-450-3733. You can go to our Discord lines by going to discord.freetalklive.com. The chat room is hopping tonight, and you can also use the Discord lines to call in. There's 4 of them there, and you'll get great sound quality, just like the Christian anarchist did when he called in. So, I've got this story. Apparently, another poor guy has been swept up into the net of Me Too. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Do you know who this is?
Oh, yeah. He's the magic science guy.
Yeah. The internet seems to like him quite a bit. And apparently the claims are that the title here is Neil deGrasse Tyson addresses sexual misconduct accusations. So they don't say he did anything necessarily, but at this point, that's what you're expecting. You're expecting bottoms to be pinched, boobs to be grabbed, creepy things to have been said, perhaps a door locked, things wagged around in real space, right?
Some clothes coming off.
Yeah, something like that. You're everybody's a Harvey Weinstein, right? And we don't even know what Harvey Weinstein did, honestly. But this looks like crap, frankly. I've read the article here from Yahoo. No, I wasn't there. I don't know nothing. I don't know what the accusations even are. Because at this point, the media is so rabid for these accusations, they'll take, I think, anything and just turn it into something. So he says, I'm the accused, so why believe anything I say? This is the reason I'm going to read this article, is because he's absolutely right. He's got it all encapsulated here. He's the accused, and at this point in America, we don't care what the accused says unless they say, I'm sorry, in the proper fashion.
It's guilty until proven innocent now.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, especially if you fit a particular mold. And, in this case, when it comes to sexual accusations, if you're male, you're guilty. Neil deGrasse Tyson has finally come forward to address the sexual misconduct accusations that come to light in the last couple of days. At a lengthy Facebook post, he said his piece and went through the accusations in detail, giving his side of the story. By the way, I'm not a fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Me neither.
I mean, he's way too statist for me, but whatever. I've recently been publicly accused of sexual misconduct, he wrote in the post. That doesn't mean I think that bad things should befall him just because I don't agree with him. That would be a really immature thing to say. So he says, these accusations have received a fair amount of press in the past 48 hours, unaccompanied by my reactions. In many cases, it's not the media's fault. I declined to comment on the grounds that serious accusations should not be adjudicated in the press. But clearly I cannot continue to stay silent, because the press will adjudicate. The famous astrophysicist TV personality has been accused by 2 more women, presumably that makes 3, at least that's what how this article characterizes, of sexual misconduct. And by the way, it's not. But it brings the total number of women who came forward to 3. In the light of new allegations, the networks Fox and Nat Geo and producers behind Emmy-winning Cosmos reboot on Friday announced that they would investigate the claims. And Tyson said he welcomes an independent investigation. Doesn't sound like somebody who did much. He unpacked accusations, starting with the one in 2009, where he was accused of groping a fan. And then he talked about an incident in Pennsylvania in 2018. And at one point I'm sorry, it's not Pennsylvania, a personal assistant. It's just PA. Excuse me, personal assistants and denizens of Pennsylvania. If I hug you, I might just want more. She said she was creeped out when he invited her over for some wine and cheese. He also addressed allegations from the early 80s when he was accused of drugging and raping a woman. Now, that's a pretty serious one.
That's a pretty big escalation from, making a creepy comment about a hug to then just going straight into the drug rape.
Yeah. I'm the accused, so why believe anything I say? Why believe me at all, he concluded. He said accusations can damage a reputation and a marriage, sometimes irreversibly. I see myself as a loving husband and as a public servant, a scientist and an educator who serves the will of the public. I'm grateful for the support I've received from those who continue to respect me and value my work. His statement here, and I think it deserves a reading in full, because we don't really get to see these other guys, their sides of it very much. It's just the press, showing pictures of people looking dumb, and perhaps a scorned woman or whatever,
turning up a contrast, making him look evil,
that kind of thing. For a variety of reasons, he says, most justified, some unjustified. Men accused of sexual impropriety in today's Me Too, he says, most justified, climate are presumed to be guilty by the court of public opinion. Emotions bypass due process. People choose sides and social media wars begin. In any claim, evidence matters. Evidence always matters. But what happens when it's just one person's word against another and the stories don't agree? That's when people tend to pass judgment on who's more credible than whom. And that's when an impartial investigation can serve the truth and would have my full cooperation to do so. I've recently been publicly accused of sexual misconduct. These accusations have received a fair amount of press in the past 48 hours, unaccompanied by my reactions. In many cases, it's not the media's fault. I declined comment on the grounds that serious accusations should not be adjudicated in the press. But clearly I cannot continue to stay silent. Regarding the 2009 incident, I am asked by thousands of people per year to take pictures with them. Do you believe this?
Well,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, that a bunch of people want to take pictures. I don't know. Was he that famous back in 2009?
I don't know.
Because I only heard of him recently.
I wouldn't doubt that he's, I wouldn't doubt he gets thousands of people.
I mean, if he was a singer, I'd imagine, but I'm an astrophysicist.
No, I'm sorry, he is the astrophysicist. And it's a time-consuming, flattering, but delightful chore, as many of my fan base can attest. I get almost giddy when I notice that you're wearing cosmic bling, clothing or jewelry or tattoos that portray the universe, either scientifically or artistically. And I make it a priority to point these adornments out in the photograph. A colleague, as well as attended at a well-attended after-conference social gathering, came up to me and asked for a photograph. Colleague. She was wearing a sleeveless dress with a tattooed solar system extending up her arm. And while I didn't explicitly remember searching for Pluto at the top of her shoulder, it is surely something I would have done in that situation. As we all know, I have professional history with the demotion of Pluto, which had occurred officially just 3 years earlier. So whether people included or not in their tattoos is of great interest to me. I was reported to have groped her by searching up her dress when this was simply a search under the covered part of her shoulder for the sleeveless dress. I'm only just learned 9 years after that she thought this behavior creepy and that it was never my intent, and I'm deeply sorry to have made her feel that way. And I had I been told of her discomfort at the moment, I would have offered the same apology eagerly on the spot. In my mind's eye, I'm a friendly and accessible guy, but going forward, I can surely be more sensitive to people's personal space, even in the midst of my planetary enthusiasm. Somebody put art on their body that's intended to catch your attention, and it caught his attention.
And then only 9 years later do they get upset about it.
This lady considers having her shoulder touched by a person she's asking to take a picture of being groped. This isn't an indication of anything. I mean, if this was part of an ongoing thing where, he works up people's shoulders to their boobs or something, But this is
and it also desensitizes people because now if someone gets groped, they just abbreviate. They say, "Oh, I got raped." So now they touch their shoulder, a piece of skin on their shoulder. Now it's they got groped. So for what's going to be when someone actually gets raped? What are people going to call that? Murder, like soul murder?
Yeah, I don't know. 2009. That's not like this Me Too thing was really going on. I mean, when I think about the way people touch me, sometimes they just touch me. And I'm fine with that. I have to take pictures with people too. I don't consider it groping. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. More about Neil deGrasse Tyson and your thoughts. Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy.
DINOVITE.com. Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. I'm Ian. What? I wasn't here for the first hour and a half, basically. Welcome to the program. I am kind of getting caught up here. You guys have been talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson. I did hear that part of the show so far, and I'm glad you got to it because we had teased it last night as something we might talk about. We never did. In the studio, it's Ian.
And Vincent.
And Mark.
Our phone number's here for you to join us. If you want to comment, 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. Also, I want to make sure that you know about Bitcoin.com. That is where you can go to learn the basics about cryptocurrency. And you know what? Now's a good time for it, considering today Bitcoin has been less than, and for the past couple days, it's been less than $4,000 per Bitcoin. And that's
buying opportunity.
Yeah, it's way down.
I didn't think it would go that low.
What it was. Some people are saying it's going down to 500, but then again, nobody knows what the future is going to be. So maybe it'll stop here and start going back up again. I can tell you this. I was actually looking at some of the charts, Bitcoin charts from the last several years. And I don't know if you remember the 2013 spike that happened at the end of 2013. Is when Bitcoin went up from about
$1,200.
Yeah, it went up from about $100 like a couple months before the spike, or a month or so before the spike, and then went up to around 1,100 and something, close to 1,200. So it went up about tenfold in that amount of time. So from 100 to about 1,100.
And when we talk about these spikes, one thing is kind of obscured, and that is when it spikes to, say, $1,100, you almost never had the opportunity to cash in at that point. Now, you could have cashed in above 1,000, but you only had a very brief amount of time as far as hours to cash in, even above 1,000.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the $20,000 Bitcoin spike. If you wanted to get out sometime above $17,000, you can quantify that in hours as to how much time you had to make that decision, move your Bitcoin out of, say, cold storage or whatever. Really, there wasn't much access to getting out at those spikes. So a spike is a spike. It's an instant in time.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long to finish that. But either way, my point is comparing the spike in 2013 and how intense it was, again, going from 100 to over 1,100, and comparing it to 2017 when Bitcoin spiked up, going from just a couple months before the spike as low as $3,000-$4,000 on up to $20,000.
I remember a few months before that, it was $600. So,
well, at the beginning of the year, it was just under 1,000.
Right.
That's when I got in.
Yeah. So my point being here that, to me, the spikes look similar. When you go and you look at the charts.
People who like patterns, and people like patterns.
Yeah, and I'm not an expert. I'm not an investment advisor. I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't think anybody else really knows either, because nobody knows the future of what Bitcoin's going to do. I like what you
sure
said, Mark.
didn't, because you didn't even want to take Bitcoin when I was suggesting that we take that, and I forced you into it, and then the only thing you did is not sell it.
That's right.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, you're welcome.
God, he sucks.
So you were very good on this, Mark, and you had the vision to actually buy some of the stuff. You even mortgaged your own home to do it. Some people that hasn't worked out too well for.
No.
So it was a risky move, but it happened to work out for you. I
don't recommend that.
Like I said, I'm not an investor, which is why I didn't sell it either. You're like, I got this thing. I'm just going to hold on to it.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. You're not an investor, and
But I can hold on to a thing pretty effectively.
And thank you, by the way, for all your help helping me to hold on to the Bitcoin that I wanted to buy, because I couldn't have done it early on without you.
So, but my point is, look, the spikes look similar. I'm not saying it's history repeating itself, but it sure is interesting. Go to Bitcoin.com, learn the basics about Bitcoin, get started. Because even though it's at $4,000 per Bitcoin, some people would say it's still the early days. Some people would say, yeah, we're a decade in. But that's nothing when you compare to how long gold and silver have been considered money, how long, paper currency has been in existence. A decade's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket as far as money's concerned. So I think it's true that we are still on the beginning cusp of whatever it is that cryptocurrency/Bitcoin is going to become. So
I did an interview with Jeffrey Tucker, and you can find
that's my forward-looking statement.
at archives.freetalklive.com for the Monday night show, and I asked him these questions. He's running Cryptopolco. He's emceeing Cryptopolco.
I thought you were emceeing Cryptopolco.
I'm sorry. He's emceeing Anarchapulco. I am emceeing Cryptopolco.
Okay,
sorry, and.
But he is running the first Bitcoin embassy in the United States, the Atlanta Bitcoin Embassy.
He is, arguably the intellectual heir to Murray Rothbard.
He knows a lot about economics.
Yeah, he's
smart guy.
The chief wahoo over there at the American Economic Institute or something like that. I don't know. I don't have it exactly sitting here in front of me. But not a schlub. And the way he explained it was basically what you're saying is that we're just very early in this, and it took the internet a little while to get up and rolling.
Sure did.
It takes a lot of things.
How about all the years? I know I've taken away from Neil deGrasse Tyson. We're going to get back into that, I promise. Yeah. But think about they've shown some of these videos after the fact. Now, you weren't around for this, Vincent, because you're just a young gentleman here. What are you, 20?
Just a pup.
In the late 90s, they had people criticizing the internet. Like, oh, it's just a fad. What is this weird internet thing anyway? They didn't have any idea.
But Ian, on the other hand, vendors with like the .com bubble, people were saying, "Oh, the market's just going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up forever. This thing is new."
They were wrong about that.
Well, that's what they think now. I haven't looked at the stock market in the last couple of weeks, so if I'm behind on this, people, I've heard that there were some.
Well, there was a drop. There was like a 750-point drop today,
which is nothing. But the stock market has had the longest bull run in history, and the idea that we're going to that's just going to keep on chugging along. Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear statements like the longest bull run in history, you are long overdue.
It's time to get out. You're saying.
It's time to get out. Now, where do you go? I don't know. Looks like Bitcoin right now, but I would have said that when it was 2,000, 150% higher than it is now.
Well, I agree with you about the market on that, Mark. But what I was referring to was with cryptocurrency, like with John McAfee saying that it was going to be Bitcoin was going to be $1 million a coin by
2021.
Otherwise, he'd cannibalize himself.
Yeah.
So I mean, for some people who think they're like, oh, we're going to make all this money. Ripple is going to be $1,000 a coin. When I think if Ripple became like $1,000 a coin, maybe even $100 a coin, that'd be more liquid cash than like the economy could possibly support. Right? It'd be like more than $20 trillion. So like,
there's a lot of Ripple out there.
Yeah. So there's people who think this thing is just going to be, or who thought it was going to be an endless money train back when the last spike was happening. So
yeah, I mean the train is always, as far as these things are concerned, the idea that it's going to go parabolic forever is pretty silly. I mean, I think a lot of people are hoping Bitcoin's going to level out and actually become a little more reliable.
The last Bitcoin rush wasn't a Bitcoin rush. It was a rush on ICOs. It was another get rich quick.
ICO is a investment
initial coin offering.
Thank you. Initial coin offering. It's it's kind of like a decentralized, crowdsourced, cryptocurrency based.
A lot of them were shady.
Yeah, a lot of them were shady.
And probably still are, although it's kind of fallen off the radar. You think that's what was the ramp up at the end of 2017?
How do you buy into an ICO?
You have to buy crypto.
You have to have crypto. How do you buy crypto? You have to have Bitcoin.
You have to get Bitcoin, generally.
There you go.
There's more coming up here. Well, that's interesting speculation. 855, 450 free. But then again, to some extent, there was all the press and publicity, and that just got people into it too, period. Yeah. Just getting Bitcoin. More coming up.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar. and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agoristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free, bring up anything you want. And yes, if you were watching the video and wondering why it is we're doing the
Roman salute.
The Roman salute here in the studio, we were talking about what's called the Bellamy salute, which is a variant of the Roman salute. It's the original arm motion that students would make
Vincent's from Canada,
doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
So he's not familiar with American history. So
he did grow up in the US.
Yeah, I went to school in the U.S., and yeah, we all had to do the pledge, but we had to put our arm on our chest.
Your hand over your heart, as they say.
Yeah.
They changed that. I don't know if it was in the 40s or 50s or when it was, but they did change it because, well, the Nazis had also used the same salute. And the founder, the writer, the person who wrote the Pledge of Allegiance, Francis Bellamy, he was also a National Socialist, although he called himself a Christian socialist.
They use that term too, but...
Well, and I'm also sure
things that make you go,
I'm sure also the message of both whatever the German children were pledging to in the Pledge of Allegiance are pretty much the same. Just replace Deutschland with United
States
or
whatever.
Republic.
So we're going to get back into Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was issuing a statement. You were in the middle of it, Mark, about, hey, look, I've been accused, and so therefore you're not going to believe anything I said, which was an interesting way to open it, kind of a good intention grabber. And we're going to get into this because he's been accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment.
Misconduct is the term we're going to use.
Misconduct.
And that's the problem.
So not enough to be a crime?
With these, right. Absolutely, there's no crime here.
But enough to fire him from
someplace. Except for the first accusation, which is absolutely a crime, presuming you believe it, and we'll go into that.
All right, so that's all coming up here. Your calls and thoughts, welcome. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's go first, though, to the phones. To the fun. Sarah is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Vincent, and Mark. Hello, Sarah.
Yes, I just want to mention that our Mayor Keller, he's planning to make our downtown more pedestrian-friendly for our visitors and tourists. And so it sounds really good.
How?
My whole question is, to do what? That's my big question. They sound like, I want to make it bicycle and pedestrian friendly, but what does it pan out to? You know what I mean?
Well, how is he proposing to do this?
Well, you know what? That's what I want to know. And then I asked the mayor's office, and the one thing that they come up with so far is green bicycle lanes they have like little bicycle pictures on it.
This is the dumbest crap, I gotta say. They did this here in Keene, New Hampshire, with these little green bicycle lanes, and they're exactly what you're describing. They're like tiny little indicators of lanes that exist basically at the stoplights. I don't know if they put them in anywhere else. It was like, oh, this is where the bicycles are supposed to go.
And people still ride on the sidewalk.
And there's still not enough room, necessarily. The cars aren't like avoiding that area. They're just running right over top of it. It's already worn away. The green coloring is already fading.
Can't see the bicycle on there anymore.
Significantly. It's just like, look, here's how you deal with bicyclists. You keep your eyes open, and you try to give them as much of a berth as possible. You try to give them as much of distance between your car and them as you can, while not also hitting the oncoming traffic. And everybody can coexist peacefully, so long as the bicyclist isn't S-face drunk and rolls right out in front of traffic, and or the person in the car isn't drunk and just rolls right over the bicyclist. But all these rules and paintings and lanes, I don't think they're going to do anything.
Well, that's what I thought about. You know what? It just gets me just excited for no reason. You know how I'm all hyped up, but.
Well, I think that's good that you can. I think that's good that you can analyze yourself and say, "Well, why is it that I'm all hyped? I'm excited about this, but why am I excited?" The mayor hasn't even actually said anything. All he said is he's going to make the city more friendly to bicycles and pedestrians.
Sarah's breaking the conditioning.
Well, it's important. I think she should be given kudos for this.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they're putting these little plexiglass, little plastic things towards the right-hand turn lane, right when they get to the intersection. Because when they're turning a right, they're just pulled right up into the bicycle lane and just run anything over and then turn a right. Because that's what they're in the habit about. They're putting these plexiglasses, the little plastic things. But all of this stuff, just kind of like. Never, like you said, it never really amounts to much of anything.
What is this plexiglass thing? Is it a barrier?
Yeah, it's like it's the flimsiest of barriers. So it's adhered to the road really hard. This big black cone that's probably 6 inches at its base, and then it holds this kind of flippy piece of plastic that has a reflector at the top of it. This rectangular reflector that's taped to the top of it.
Where have you seen these?
All over.
Just get out must not have noticed them. I get out plenty. Thanks.
They're orange and. You could run over them. And believe me, at 2 o'clock in the morning, when there's no cops around and no people to look, somebody's going to be running these things over. And then
I think I know what you're talking about. When I hear plexiglass, I think clear, but you're saying
they're plexiglass. They're plastic of some sort.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you can definitely knock them over, right? And then they come back up. Is that the idea?
Well, maybe. A few times.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, I share your concerns. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So whether it be traffic control devices or sexual allegations. Now, again, they're not sexual assault allegations.
Misconduct.
What was the first one? There was a girl with a tattoo?
A colleague of Neil deGrasse Tyson's with a tattoo of sort of the solar system.
Yeah, as you would expect.
She asked to take a picture with him, and he is excited about solar system stuff. He sees the solar system tattoo. He kind of goes poking around, on her shoulder, looking for Pluto.
Okay.
This was a Pluto
He
time.
wasn't looking for Uranus.
Right. He was not. So he touched her shoulder, essentially. And what she claims to have found creepy was that he, I guess, moved the strap on her dress.
So he could see the tattoo.
The tattoo that she got, so that presumably people would pay attention to it.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, here he is looking with his hands.
Yeah.
Right. And I just...
And she didn't apparently say anything in the moment. Didn't he say he just found out about it 9 years later that she was offended by this?
That's correct.
You know, in the moment, if somebody's doing something that's offensive to you, you can say, I'm not comfortable with you doing that. Please stop.
Well, I think you can find something weird later.
Mm-hmm.
And creepy and weird have almost become synonymous these days. This is I wailed on this for years. The term creepy.
The creepy term.
Yeah, the term creepy is just a way to marginalize men. But whatever. I think you can find something weird later. But if you didn't have the guts to stand up and say something at the time, you probably should keep your critique low or just non-existent. If a reporter came up and asked this lady, so have you ever had a creepy incident with Neil deGrasse Tyson? Well,
there was this one time.
Like, I could see that.
Yeah.
But apparently these two accusations have surfaced, and one can only presume they surface in a way, like, if this is part of a body of evidence, then I suppose it might be worth having. But this is the flimsiest of evidence, if it is even part of a body of evidence.
Right.
It's the touching of a shoulder.
Yeah, and also, again, 9 years, right? A lot can change. This woman's a colleague. Not everybody that you work with, you get along with real well. So maybe, I'm just speculating here, maybe at the time, she was somewhat enamored by the fact that she was working with Neil deGrasse Tyson. She wanted to get her photograph with him. She asks him for the photo. He touches her. She thinks nothing of it, because if you're going to be in a photo with somebody, frequently don't you put your arm around the person?
Right,
There's
there's gonna be
usually some
touching.
level of touching going on. As you're
But
sort
then
of
she finds out his stance on string theory.
or whatever, right? A few years later, or maybe he, said something that, or that they were working together and they disagreed on something or whatever. The relationship
theory.
fell apart. And so now here she is kind of jumping on the bandwagon, because this woman she wasn't the original accuser of he did something. This was one of the additional ones, right? Like, oh, me too.
Yes.
I also was touched by.
Right. Well, that's
Neil
what Me
deGrasse.
Too is about. Is everybody's everybody's experience is equally weighted. This is not an experience to weight.
Yeah.
Best I can tell.
Okay, so there's more from his response to these various
not to that
allegations.
one, but to
the
next one.
various allegations.
To the
coming
various
up, right?
allegations. So this is the summer 2018 incident.
All right, we're getting into that coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts also welcome on Neil deGrasse Tyson or whatever happens to be on your mind. You can take control of the airwaves at 855-450 free, or jump into our Discord chat and jump into our on-air call-in line rooms there over at discord.lrn.fm.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico-Chaps with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
We know you've had Dragon's Breath in the morning, but you've got to experience Dragon's Breath at night. Wolf Hill Ammo's Dragon's Breath, an incendiary shotgun round in 12 gauge, 20 gauge, and a 410 with an amazing muzzle flash and a fireball that launches up to 125 yards. Pure fun to shoot. At Wolf Hill Ammo, we love shotguns and offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market. Visit wolfhillammo.com to see our large selection of specialty shotgun ammo at great prices with flat rate shipping. wolfhillammo.com.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. Coming up, we got the remainder of Neil deGrasse Tyson and his public statement regarding the various different allegations that have been, I guess, bubbling up over the last, couple of weeks? I don't know how long this has been going on for.
Yeah,
but
that sounds right.
Yeah, he's got something to say about it. And, Mark, you said this deserves to be read in full. So we're going to continue with that statement coming up here. Of course, your calls and thoughts are welcome. I do want to let you know about the Blink home security system. You know, when do you want to spot that burglar? Is it when he's casing the home or after he's in? You can ask John, whose Blink camera alerted him of burglars trying to break in while he and his family were home, or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a thief stealing packages. Both times, Blink video clips were sent to police to help convict the crooks. Blink motion-activated indoor and outdoor cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. And if you're traveling over the holidays, Blink's live feed option lets you monitor your home and check in on your pets from anywhere using the Blink smartphone app. No contracts, no subscriptions, and shockingly affordable, by the way. Blink works with Alexa because Blink is an Amazon company, and their camera systems make great holiday gifts, and they're a great way to monitor holiday package deliveries. Save up to a whopping 40% off of all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/holiday. That's blinkprotect.com/holiday. We use this system here at the studio. Mark, you've got it at your house as well. And you liked it so much, you brought it with you when you moved
to
your new house. All right, so we're going to continue with Neil deGrasse Tyson. But first, we go to the phones, to the on-air call-in line room on our Discord server, where Wikiwea is on the line, I believe, over in the UK.
That's right, yeah.
Good morning there.
Good morning, yeah. And, well, good evening to you, I guess. I was just wondering about, what was it, I think day before yesterday, there was a conversation on Free Talk Live. It was, I think, between Mark, Jackie, and someone else, I think it was Daryl, about property rights. And I think, if I recall correctly, maybe these were not your exact words, but I thought that your exact words were that property rights are violent, or property is violence. I was wondering how if that's your view, how do you kind of justify? When I think about it myself, I guess I understand that property requires force, but I think of the aggressor as the person who violates.
I think a lot of people look at the term violence, and I've studied the etymology of the word violence to some extent, and it does not come from the same term as violate. And so violence is an act of force.
Can be defensive.
Yeah, it can. There's defensive violence, and so perhaps a better way to say it is that it requires force to hold property.
Otherwise, someone's going to take it from you.
But it's just a point of view, right? Like if I've got something,
well, it's not wrong. I mean, if you don't use force to stop someone from taking a thing that you believe to be yours, they're going to take it.
That's right. But if there's a thing, and then say both Vincent and I have a hold of a thing, and both Vincent and I believe we own that thing. If he's going to interpret my force to retain that thing as violence, whereas I'm going to interpret it as a self-defense. That's just so it's just a matter of verbiage.
It's violence in both cases, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly. Well, that's why there is, I think, some confusion on the issue. I mean, if I recall correctly, it was Jackie's view that no one can really own property as such. Like, this is everyone's world to
She
share,
was talking about
land.
Sorry.
Land.
Yeah. As opposed to
well,
she's a Georgist, I believe is the term, right?
Yeah. No, geo-libertarian.
And she used that view, to justify a tax, like a land tax of some kind. But I mean, it's to me, that's just really, I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, if you think about it, it is hard to have absolute control over land, but especially if like with the potential for monopolies. Like, what if there's a really, really precious resource on that land that is needed to, let's say sort of to save the world or something?
Yeah. Georgists. The unobtainium argument. So Georgists would say that that everybody owns all the minerals, all the land, and the air, and these sorts of things in concert. And I find it to be an interesting argument that's difficult to rebut until you get to who
decides,
collects, who decides. Who gets to say? So she's saying that people can own land like we do currently. The United States has a good land allocation system. It's just that there should be a land tax as opposed to a property tax, and this is different in that way or the other thing. But you ask people, and they'll start telling you relatively quickly it's their local government that's most corrupt. Their local government is the one that prevents them from living a life that they'd like to live, and it's not this national one. So is there going to be an international body who taxes people based on land use? And what happens when, say, you're talking about, deepest, darkest Africa, where some tribe that's not used to paying anything suddenly gets a bill in the mail from the UN saying, well, your land tax is due. How's that going to work out? They're going to accept, 3 mollusks and a cockle shell? I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't. I think from an implementation standpoint, we're a ways off from whatever the heck geo-libertarians are talking about.
Yeah, well, it's unenforceable, and it's over-centralization of power, and it's bound to end in violence. But that was really the only point I had.
Good call. Thanks, Wicca. We appreciate the discussion. That's him there on our Discord on-air call-in lines, and you can jump into that as well. Sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Go to discord.lrn.fm. You should probably install the app first and create an account, and then just in your web browser, type in discord.lrn.fm, and it'll jump you right into the chat rooms there, where you can either chat with other Free Talk Live listeners in a variety of different rooms, or jump into one of those on-air call-in lines and get on the air with us 7 nights per week. Ian, Vincent, and Mark here. Mark, you've got the article by Neil deGrasse Tyson. And Vincent, you had said earlier you weren't too aware of him more than a decade ago. I definitely started hearing his name within the last, I would say, 20 years. He's sort of like the other guy when it comes to Bill Nye. Like everybody knows Bill Nye, the science guy.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is an astrophysicist. Bill Nye was an engineer.
Is that right?
And an actor. Yeah, well, he got his start by acting in like a workplace propaganda, or not, maybe not, but like instructional videos. And he was just so talented at that, and he had
looks
the
good
air.
in a lab coat.
Exactly, yeah, he had the air of it. So he's really a good actor. He's an amazing actor.
But he's not a scientist, is what you're saying.
No, yeah, he's such a good actor that people think he's a scientist.
Interesting.
I mean, he doesn't call himself a scientist. He says a science guy. And that kind of suggests I like science.
Anyone can do that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I wouldn't feel disingenuous if somebody offered me $1 million a year to do a kids TV program where we mix some baking soda and some vinegar together. Hey kids,
do you remember Mr. Wizard?
I remember the name, but that would be more your generation.
Probably a little bit after your time.
Yeah. I remember Captain Kangaroo.
There's a great video online for anybody that
old man.
I know.
My God.
Cereal.
I don't know Captain Kangaroo. It's too old for me.
Yeah. Mr. Green Jeans.
Mr. Wizard was on the Nickelodeon channel in the 1980s, and he was like this older, bald gentleman who, would do these science experiments with kids. And I think that was like a full half-hour long show. And somebody made a compilation of clips on the internet of Mr. Wizard being a real jerk to these kids, like being super condescending and mean to the kids that he was with. And it's like one of those super clips with a bunch of clips from a bunch of different shows. I think it's worth looking for if you were a Mr. Wizard fan.
Mr. Wizard wasn't so great.
Yeah, no, he was apparently pretty mean in some cases to these kids. So anyway. And by the way, before we get back into Neil deGrasse Tyson, since I brought up Mr. Wizard, there was a nasty trick they played on us in school. At the government schools that we would go to. I specifically remember this in elementary school. They would tell us that Mr. Wizard was coming to the school. And, I mean, everybody knew who Mr. Wizard was.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
He was as far as Nickelodeon stars were concerned, you had You Can't Do That on Television and Mr. Wizard. Like, he was a huge personality. And so when that announcement was made, it was like, oh my God, Mr. Wizard's going to come and perform science experiments in front of us? And it was never Mr. Wizard. It was always one of his assistants, putting quotes around this, who would show up and do whatever, science experiments they did. Boy, talk about a major disappointment. This was probably one of the first times the government disappointed me in a big way, was when they promised Mr. Wizard and never delivered.
What about Nickelodeon?
It was like the equivalent of getting one of Santa's elves coming in and sitting in for Santa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What... That's funny.
Yeah.
What about when Nickelodeon said they couldn't do that on television, and then they did? Yeah. I mean, that's just a big fat lie, too.
Wasn't it when they said, I don't know, is when the slime would come down, I think, on that show? Anyway.
I don't know.
Pop culture from the 80s, everybody. 855-450 free. Neil deGrasse Tyson. We're going to get into another one of the allegations.
So you say.
Coming up here. And we had calls, and we had to get those calls.
It's been like 45 minutes.
Yeah, we've had some good calls. That's coming up here in hour number 3. We got more of his statement on the matters coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Do you need extra cash to buy gifts or just to pay all those extra bills during the holidays? Well, now you can get cash fast this holiday season with a personal loan for up to $5,000 right from your phone or PC at 79cash.com. How fast can you get your cash? Well, with 79cash.com, our lenders can have your cash at your bank account as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your credit history. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 79cash.com and you can get the cash loan you need now. So if you need cash fast this holiday season to buy gifts or pay all those extra bills, go to 79cash.com and get the cash you need. Visit 79cash.com. Type www.79cash.com directly into the address bar. That's 79cash.com. 79cash.com. 79cash.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, December 4th, 2018. Silver's trading at $14.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,240 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,016. Antiwar.com reports Yemen peace talks are scheduled to start as early as Wednesday of this week, and unlike previous efforts, there is reason to believe that everyone will attend and engage in at least some earnest discussion of ending the conflict. The Houthi delegation is en route, with UN Special Envoy Martin Griffiths having already arrived in Sana'a to escort them personally. This is an improvement over the last time when the Houthis could not get guarantees of safe travel and thus were unable to leave the country for the talks. The Houthis also got a demand to meet in the process, as a number of wounded Houthis were able to be evacuated this week to Oman, where they will be able to receive treatment in hospitals that haven't been constantly bombed by Saudi warplanes. The Houthis will be traveling by plane to Sweden with Griffiths, and the plane was provided by Kuwait. Diplomats said this was a great confidence-building measure. Talks are expected to focus on aid shipments, large-scale prisoner swaps, and potentially reopening the Sana'a airport, which had been closed by repeated Saudi airstrikes. All this would also lay the groundwork for negotiating a settlement of the war itself. Past efforts have stalled quickly on settling the war, though the Houthis have expressed openness to elections. The Saudi-backed Hadi government has rejected any power-sharing deal, and even though President Hadi's term in office ended years ago, they insist he be put back in power. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports an Alabama man killed by police on Thanksgiving Day when they mistakenly believed him to be a mall gunman was hit in the back by 3 bullets, according to an independent autopsy report on Monday. Ben Crump, a lawyer for the family of E.J. Bradford, released the findings during a news conference. The autopsy determined he was shot 3 times, with 1 bullet entering the back of his head, 1 near the back of his hip, and a 3rd in the neck. Witnesses said Bradford was running away from police at the time he was shot. Crump wrote in a document issued along with the announcement, "There is a laceration of the right side of the face and the eyebrow consistent with falling forward on the right side of the head. The cause of death is gunshot wound to the head. The manner of death is homicide." Police in Hoover, Alabama, near Birmingham, shot Bradford on November 22nd at the River Chase Galleria Mall. The officers had responded to reports of gunfire at the scene and found Bradford allegedly holding a gun. They believed him to be the gunman. The shooting was the result of an alleged altercation between 20-year-old Iran Martinez Daquan Brown and 18-year-old Brian Wilson. Wilson and a 12-year-old girl were injured in the initial altercation. Police arrested Brown a week later in Georgia on an attempted murder charge. Though police initially said Bradford fired the rounds that injured Wilson and the girl, after more interviews and investigations, they said on November 23rd it was unlikely he was the shooter. Police officials said in a statement, "We regret that our initial media release was not totally accurate, but new evidence indicates that it was not." Crump said on Monday, "We believe, based on this forensic evidence, that this officer should have been charged for the crime. There's nothing that justifies him shooting EJ as he's moving away from him. You're not a threat when you're running away. Hoover police officials did not release the name of the officer who fatally shot Bradford, but said he was placed on administrative leave while an internal investigation was being conducted. Bradford's death sparked protest over the officer's alleged excessive use of force, with family members saying the man had a license to carry the gun he held. Bradford's funeral was held on Saturday. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. An area man doesn't know what to do with all the extra ketchup packets. This is Doyle Redland reporting. After finishing his Big Bacon Classic combo, Erie, Pennsylvania resident and Wendy's patron Don Turnby, 38, expressed uncertainty today regarding what to do with all the extra ketchup packets. Turnby had asked for extra ketchup upon placing his order for a ketchup-necessitating Biggie fries.
Well, I knew it was too many ketchups because I usually only need 3 or 4 for my Biggie fries, but I just took them anyway.
At his nearby home, the Turnby pantry is crammed with hundreds of other restaurant condiments, including single-serving packets of Taco Bell mild sauce, Arby's horsey sauce, soy sauce, McDonald's Chicken McNuggets hot mustard sauce, pats of shed spread country crock from Ponderosa Steakhouse, and a selection of Smucker's jellies and jams from several area diners. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Join us here. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've also got the Discord on air call-in line rooms. You can join us there over at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Vincent,
and Mark.
Coming up, we've got the rest of the Neil deGrasse Tyson response to the various different allegations about him. Sexual, not quite assault, but alleged inappropriate touching and such. We can get back to his response coming up here. And if we get the chance, we'll talk about what's going on in France with the yellow vest people rioting. And they are not happy over some apparently gas taxes. I thought they liked taxes in France. Well, I guess they've had enough. We'll tell you more about that coming up here in a bit. And if we don't get a chance to get it in the radio show tonight, maybe we'll talk about it on tonight's after show, because we do have the Twitch-only after show coming up tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time exclusively on our Twitch channel over at twitch.lrn.fm. All right, so let's continue here with Free Market Penguin. He's on the line with us on the Discord on-air call-in line room. Go ahead. Hello, Free Market Penguin. Are you with us? Appear to be having some technical difficulties here. I'm not sure what the problem is, but we'll have to work that out later. All right, Mark, let's go with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He already explained one lady's allegations about him touching her while they were having a photograph. He says he just was examining a tattoo on her arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the second instance, this is from the summer of 2018. He said, this is the first person he wrote this. While filming this past summer, I had a female production assistant assigned to me to ensure, among her countless tasks, that every ounce of my energy was efficiently allocated to the production needs of the show.
Okay.
As part of this, she was also my driver to and from the studio, ensuring that I arrive on time in the car. We would review details of the shoot, and she would help me anticipate parts of the shoot to come. Across the many weeks of shooting, she and I spent upwards of 100 hours in one-on-one conversation. We became so friendly that we talked about all manners of subjects, even social, personal ones like the care of aging parents, sibling relationships, life in high school and college, hometown hobbies, race, gender, and so forth. We also discussed less personal topics in abundance, like rock lyrics, favorite songs in various musical genres, concert appearances, experiences, and etc. We also talked about food, and I'm kind of a foodie, and her fiance was a chef. In short, we had fun. We had a fun, talkative relationship. She is a talented, warm, and friendly person. Excellent traits for morale on a high-pressure production shoot. Practically everyone she knows on set gets a daily welcome hug from her. I expressly rejected each hug offered frequently during the production, but in its place I offered a handshake, and on a few occasions clumsily declared, if I hug you, I might just want more. My intent, that's the statement, and it's creepy, right?
Is that creepy? I mean, it could be a compliment, but yes.
I don't know how to describe it elsewhere. It could be, I want more hugs.
Whether a statement is creepy or not depends on the opinion of the recipient, right? Because, like, if she had respect for him, that may not come across as creepy. If he's just some lecherous dude on the street, then it might. I don't know.
I think he like the vagueness of more. Like, what's more? You mean more of a hug, or more as in more physical
sex.
contact?
Yeah. Well, what if that's what he meant? What if he's saying, I don't want to hug you because I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm causing myself to be uncomfortable. I'm a married guy. I don't want to feel more lust for you. Is that not something that he can do?
To say no?
Is that fair? Like, can he say no for that reason?
For the reason, okay.
And
it's an honest statement, right?
Right. It probably shouldn't be shared. Like, just not like that's not one thing you don't come out of the bathroom and declare, "Whoa, I blew that place up. Don't go in there." Right? Like that's inappropriate.
Well, when you're for boys, it's okay.
Yeah.
What's that?
When you're for boys,
right? Yeah. Fine.
So and so just dropped the bomb in there.
Right.
I just dropped the bomb in there.
You won't hear me saying any of those things because I just don't think it's appropriate.
We're all going to know
talk
it was
about.
You anyway.
What's that?
I said we're all going to know it was you anyway.
Fine. I do my business at home with the bidet, pal.
Oh, that's right. Oh man, that thing is nice.
It is awesome. I let Ian use my bidet.
You're French, Vincent. Have you ever tried a bidet?
French Canadian. That's like calling.
Is it like that Japanese thing that like squirts water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Japanese. I thought it was.
Well, the Japanese do have a thing where it's like it squirts water, then it puts like a perfume on.
No perfume because
there's a fan though. If you want to use the fan.
Wait, the fan blows up.
I didn't use the fan.
Across?
Oh, no, it blows across. Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work out if it blew up.
Yeah. Boom. So, anyway.
Unless you're into that. But
I think that's, I think it's a weird statement, but that's all it was, ever. It was a weird statement.
Yeah. He could have just said it wouldn't be professional. I mean, I imagine he's.
He could have.
And it would have avoided this whole mess, or he's sought to avoid that in the first place, and that's exactly what he got.
So he's acknowledging that was an awkward thing to say.
It's an awkward thing to say.
Okay.
In the final week of shooting, with just a few days left, as a capstone of our friendship, I invited her to wine and cheese at my place. Upon dropping me off from work, no pressure. I serve wine and cheese often to visitors, and
he's married.
Yeah, even alerted her that others from the production were gathering elsewhere that evening. I don't know what that purpose of that is, saying that. So she should just drop me off and head straight there or anywhere else. She freely chose to come by for wine and cheese.
He's saying, hey, you could come by my house for wine and cheese, or there's this production party going on over at, Schlotsky's.
It is supposed to show that he's not being manipulative, I guess.
It's supposed to show that he let her know, hey, you don't have to come here with me.
Yep.
There's this other party going on.
She freely chose to come by for wine and cheese, and I was delighted. In the car, we had started a long conversation that could continue unabated. Production days are long. We arrived late, but she was on her way home 2 hours later. Afterwards, she came into my office and told me she was creeped out by the wine and cheese evening.
Okay.
She viewed the invite as an attempt to seduce her.
Wow.
She came over.
Yeah.
Like, does that mean that she's upset that she didn't get seduced?
Because he's married, right?
Well, I mean,
it's not clear whether his wife was in attendance.
Listen to what is said here. Afterwards, she came into my office and said she was creeped out by the wine and cheese evening.
I presume that means a different day, not the same night.
No, that's the night. This was the end of the production.
Okay.
That was it. Wine and cheese, one night. And she felt that it came across as, that it was an attempt to seduce her, even though she sat across the wine and cheese table from me, and all conversation had been in the same vein as all the other conversations we'd ever have. Further, I never touched her until I shook her hand upon departure. On that occasion, I had offered a special handshake, one I learned from a native elder on reservation land at the edge of the Grand Canyon. You extend your thumb forward during the handshake to feel the other person's vital spirit energy.
Now that's creepy right there. You couldn't see that on the cam, I don't think.
Yeah, that's weird stuff.
So the day she complains that he was being creepy, he decides to
be creepy.
Did he do something?
I've never forgotten that handshake, and I save it in appreciation of people with whom I've developed new friendships. At the last meeting in my office, I apologized profusely. She accepted the apology, and I assured her that had I known she was uncomfortable, I would have apologized on the spot. Ended the evening and possibly reminded her of other social gatherings she could attend.
I think this office visit is on a different day, but anyway, go ahead.
She nonetheless declared it's not. The office visit is on another day. Duh.
That's what I'm saying.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning, Ian.
Right. Well, it sounded like you said it was the same day that you went in his office.
No, she's talking about that day. We're all talking about the same wine and cheese day. That's what I'm saying.
Well, if it was 2 in the morning, it'd be the morning after.
Fine. You guys have fun. Go parse these words.
I must have misunderstood what you said, because I said it sounds like she went in on the next day or on a different day to complain about the wine and cheese evening, and then you said no, it was the same day.
I thought you were saying that she was complaining about a different day.
No.
All right. She nonetheless declared it her last day with only a few days left of production.
Right.
I note that her final gesture to me was the offer of a hug, which I accepted as a parting friend. This lady
all of that
is crazy.
Yeah. After all the complaining, she then hugs him.
I'd say it's normal behavior for a type of person like that.
Maybe.
I wouldn't say crazy. I mean, it's not normal in terms of like civil discourse and being a decent human being, but in terms, I know there's a lot of people like that. That's why a lot of guys are taking after Mike Electric Pence and just like not talking to anyone except your own spouse.
I'll bet you that Neil deGrasse Tyson starts asking for male production assistants from here on out.
You're probably right.
I mean, really, if you're a guy who's just like, I just want to have conversations about rock bands and Pluto and stuff like this, and maybe show you this cool Indian handshake I learned, this guy is not trying to molest people.
855, 450 free. We'll continue with his statement in moments. Free Talk Live.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories. While I say these hobgoblins are imaginary, I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
When do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's in? Ask John, whose Blink cameras alerted him of burglars trying to break in while his family was home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a package thief. Blink motion-activated cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. Save up to a whopping 40% off all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/holiday. blinkprotect.com/holiday.
Everyone in Pennington is talking about it. Something smells like weed in that back part of the library. Head librarian Cookie Stevens and library volunteers Margaret Mosier and Gail Fredericks were in the middle of discussing the upcoming used book saleganza when they smelled something strange.
So Doug smelled marijuana somewhere, and we're like shocked. Yeah. And so Doug goes, "Do you smell it?"
Without any way to confirm that the smell was indeed weed, Cookie Stevens called her husband Sheriff Stevens, who called in local ceramics teacher Dutch Gibbs, who lived in Seattle for a few months in the 70s.
Yeah, that's weed.
Sheriff Stevens has begun compiling a list of potential suspects, including that boy Lance, who has girl hair and hangs out down by the quarry, Greg Fromke, who was spotted this evening really going to town on some potato skins at Steaky Jake's Steakhouse, and Mr. Thompson. Luckily, one young reading enthusiast seemed unperturbed by the illicit smell.
Yeah, I don't smell anything. I really love the library.
The weed smell comes on the heels of last month's discovery of a gigantic pair of women's underpants in the children's fiction section. According to Stevens, that case remains open as well.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You bring up whatever you want here. Take control of the airwaves. Our number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Jump into one of those. We'll join you on the air, although I apologize to Free Market Penguin. I didn't have a chance to do any tech support there a moment ago, so we'll hopefully get to him coming up here in a little bit. We are sharing with you the response to what so far. Now, I've not read anything about this. This is really the first I'm hearing about this story in detail, besides seeing a couple headlines over the last couple of days. These are some of the weakest allegations that I have ever heard trotted out. Somebody really appears to be out to get this guy because they are coming up with the lamest claims about what this guy did. Oh, he touched my tattoo after I asked to take a picture with him, and we are colleagues and we were, friendly, and he touched my tattoo on my shoulder.
And he found out about it, that it bothered her 9 years later.
9 years later, and she was one of the pylons. She wasn't the first person to originally
And the other
claim it.
person said, it creeped me out that you asked me to go to your house for wine and cheese. I thought you were going to make moves on me, so I went to your house for wine and cheese, and you didn't make moves on me, and I'm creeped out.
And gave you a hug anyways.
Right.
And after refusing every hug she's ever offered.
And then she quit the job and gave him a hug.
Yeah.
And he apologized and profusely. Like, I don't even know. This is like dealing with a 4-year-old that has an imaginary injury that you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me help you with your boo-boo.
And what I think is like the most damaging thing is obviously it's damaging to Neil deGrasse Tyson, his family, and career name. But it's also to like women who actually are victims of. It's like it just minimizes, because it's like what you said when we brought up the thing. You said you said it was like another Me Too article, and like I have found myself a hard time caring. I'm just like, oh, deGrasse Tyson's being accused. Let's see how much evidence they're gonna have, and it's like none, zilch.
Well, I mean, the statements all are true about what he allegedly did or didn't do. He did give that lady a hug.
Weak sauce.
He did, touch that lady's tattoo, and he didn't do anything wrong in any of those cases.
And if we weren't living in Bizarro world, this wouldn't be a news thing. People would just say, oh, you say he assaulted, you said he did harass you. Do you have any evidence aside from hearsay? No? Okay, well, I'm sorry. Come back with evidence.
Or a newspaper editor or journalist should laugh these people out of their office. Like, you got to be kidding me. We're going to run this as a story.
If you're uncomfortable going back to somebody's house for wine and cheese, don't go back to somebody's house for wine and cheese.
Yeah. Right.
Like this, it's really weird. I mean, she went and everything was fine. I just, as a man who sometimes finds himself in situations where he's alone in a room with a woman, I imagine this is probably true for most men, it just makes me like, here's Neil deGrasse Tyson having wine and cheese with a friend and, breaking bread, chit-chatting about concert venues and production and, all these things. Production, not reproduction.
She was a production assistant.
Right, she's a production assistant, just talking about stuff. And then the next day, she's like, I can't work here anymore. It's just too much for me.
You're too creepy.
What the hell? I mean, now he has to explain to his wife, look, I didn't touch the hot, huggy production assistant. I didn't touch her. Honey, I didn't touch her.
Right.
And is his wife really going to believe it? Because this is the thing that I have to think.
She might have been there. I don't know.
Well, she was not mentioned, so I don't think that she was.
Maybe she wasn't. Yeah.
This is the thing that you've got to think of in these, as somebody who has some kind of profile, is that anybody could make an accusation. In this case, somebody who's been in his immediate vicinity and that he was alone with made an accusation. But frankly, anybody could make an accusation. Some random woman on the internet could just make an accusation and somehow gets back to my wife and that I was doing this, that, or the other. Right. And I would have to, at the very least, make an explanation to her, if not the world at large. Right. And some people are going to believe I did it and some people aren't.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know, because we talk about it on the radio, that your wife leaves during the wintertime and you go down to Florida on occasion, multiple times during the winter to visit her. But there's weeks where you're not with your wife at all.
That's correct.
Some random person could just make an allegation. Oh, I met Mark and Keen for blah, 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 blah.
Right. And then, who would know?
Yeah,
would you know?
No, I would have no idea.
If it was after 10 p.m., would you know?
Right. No, I have no idea. So let's continue with the rebuttal here, the response from Neil deGrasse Tyson to these so far lame accusations. Maybe there's going to be one here with some meat.
You're going to love this one.
Okay.
This one's from the early 1980s. I entered astrophysics graduate school directly out of college in 1980. So left college,
almost
which is
40
bachelor's
years
degree,
ago.
Went to graduate school. It's a grueling adventure marathon. Many people do not finish the PhD. In fact, it was not uncommon for half of the admitted students to leave after 2 or 3 years. So they got their master's in many cases, finding some other kind of work in their lives. While in graduate school, I had several girlfriends.
Good for him.
Crazy? Not crazy. One of whom would become my wife of 30 years, a mathematical physicist. We met in relativity class. After this time, I had a brief relationship. Over this time, I had a brief relationship with a fellow astro graduate student from a more recent entering class. Okay. I remember being intimate only a few times, all at her apartment. But the chemistry wasn't there, so the relationship faded quickly. There was nothing otherwise odd or unusual about the friendship. I didn't see much of her after that. Our student offices were on different floors of the building, and we
went their separate ways.
Not in their same class. After a few years, I ran into her, pregnant, with who I think was the father by her side. That's when I had learned that she dropped out of graduate school. Again, this is not an unusual fact, but nonetheless, wished her well in motherhood and in whatever career path she would follow. More than 30 years later, as my visibility level took another jump, I read a freshly posted blog accusing me of drugging and raping a woman I did not recognize by either photo or name. Turned out to be the same person who I dated briefly in graduate school. She had changed her name and lived an entire life married with children before this accusation. For me, what was most significant was that in this new life, long after dropping out of the astrophysicist graduate school, she was posting videos of colored tuning forks endowed with vibrational therapeutic energy that she channels from orbiting planets. As a scientist, I found this odd. Meanwhile, according to her blog post, the drug and rape allegations, comes from an assumption of what happened to her during a night that she cannot remember.
Wow. So she just made it up.
As though a false memory had been implanted, which, because it never actually happened, had to be remembered as an evening she doesn't remember. Nor does she remember waking up the next morning and going to the office. I kept a record of everything she posted in case her stories morphed over time. This is so sad, which, for me, defies explanation. I note that this allegation was used as a kind of solicitation bait by at least one of the journalists to bring out the woodwork anybody who had an encounter with me that left them uncomfortable.
So this was the biggie. This was the one that sparked the other ones.
Right.
Basically.
So sometime in the 1980s, this woman who's turned herself into some kind of voodoo cleric has...
She's got her crystals.
Yeah, I mean, has made the accusation that he drugged and raped her, which, according to him, didn't happen. I think this is just...
She may have been drugged, but she probably did it to herself.
Or Baphomet, was conjured up through the crystals.
I just, when dealing with these he said, she said accusations, it's just so pointless because
it's frustrating.
Anybody can say anything, and yes, people will lie to get attention.
Sure will. There's more
if men
coming
will
up.
Do it, women will do it.
I imagine he's got a conclusion coming up here. 855 450 free. We'll get to that. Your calls and thoughts as well. Welcome on Free Talk Live.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today and save $10 on the Bug Beam Laser Combo, only at bugassault.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar! That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. patreon.com, advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line room. So join those over at discord.lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
It's Vincent.
And Mark.
By the way, coming up a little bit later on tonight, if you're on our Twitch channel over at twitch.lrn.fm, you will be able to watch our Discord, or not our Discord, our after show, Twitch-only after show that we've been doing this will be week number 3, actually, that we've been doing these things, and we've been having fun with it, so you can join us for that. No FCC censors, by the way, on the Twitch after show. It's 10 o'clock Eastern tonight over at twitch.lrn.fm. So you can bring up whatever you want. I do want to make sure you know about AnyPay, though. If you're looking at accepting cryptocurrency at point of sale, AnyPay has the best system with which you can do that. I was actually helping a local merchant out today do a little bit of tweaking because AnyPay now has an app, and so I helped them download the app. They previously had this sort of web-based thing, and if you're on iOS, you don't yet have access to the app, so only for Android users. If you got an Android tablet at your point of sale, you can easily download the AnyPay app. Just search for AnyPay Take Crypto in the Google App Store. And beware, there is a different AnyPay out there in the Google apps. So you want to make sure you get the Take Crypto app by AnyPay. And you can register right there in the app, or you can just go to anypay.global and do it there, however you want to do it. Get registered for AnyPay. It makes it so easy to accept Bitcoin, Dash, Zcash, Zen, and more. It's anypay.global. As we continue, we go to Penguin in Virginia. He's on the phone lines now. He had trouble with Discord earlier. Go ahead, Penguin.
Hey, yeah, my bad about that. I'm mobile, and so I had to try to install it on my phone and get it up really quick, but I always have trouble with that. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to call. Basically, today's topic is going to be the gentleman that called in around in the first hour. Instead of referencing a specific time, but in the first hour. Unfortunate gentleman in an unfortunate situation where he seems to have gotten into some really far-right, ultra-right, extremist rhetoric, gone down the fascist rabbit hole, and gotten involved in some stuff. And
it's the really libertarian to alt-right pipeline. That's what they call it.
It seems like it. It seems like it. And what I've heard from certain left-leaning people, a certain left-leaning person is they actively recruit. I don't know if that's true, but from that group of people. But obviously, if you recognize that there's a pipeline, you're going to see, there must be some overlap. I certainly understand. But my problem, and I hope that he comes back, starts listening to your show, and really comes back to this kind of center-rightish kind of libertarian viewpoint in this voluntarism that totally makes sense. Because markets work, and individual freedom works. And if you actually look at it, I spend a lot of time talking to both right-wing and not right or left, and very left-wing free market, anarchist, pro-individual freedom people. They exist far, far, far to the left of the general audience of this show. And the principles are still free markets and, voluntary beneficial interactions between people. And, this whole idea of pitting libertarianism and voluntarism is a extremely far-right fringe kind of ideology, just pushes more people away than it'll ever attract, especially the kind of people that you'd want to hear your message. And so I think it does such a disservice, to spread the message of liberty when libertarianism, just regular mainstream libertarianism, which is kind of a right libertarian capitalism, point of view, center or down the middle kind of message you guys push, that's like on the far right fringe now because, unfairly because of its associations. And it's really kind of, hurts my feelings.
So what association?
The association with the alt-right pipeline.
You're talking about Chris Cantwell?
Yeah, Cantwell was mentioned in the call.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry, I
hope it
wasn't
goes
here for
from
the call.
Well,
so.
to you guys. Oh yeah, you weren't here. For
So wait, somebody called in and
But
alleged there was an alt-right pipeline?
No, somebody called in and said basically, hey, I don't call myself a libertarian anymore. Reb
because of
from Florida, and basically the reason is because libertarians are dumb when it comes to immigration, and
so he was in favor of border control. This person,
yeah, more or less.
I see.
So what are you going to say to somebody who says I'm not a libertarian?
Good riddance.
I'm for border controls. Well,
yeah, I'll say
fine.
I'll work on you. I'll work on issues with you where we agree, and otherwise you're wrong.
I said this, that libertarianism really means that people with different opinions should live in different places with different people, and that we should all be able to have different opinions.
That's not what libertarianism means. Libertarianism
it
is simple. It's the non-aggression principle, the idea that it's not okay to use aggressive force to achieve your goals. Now, arguably, you can do better if you go into different places where you have like-minded folks. That makes more sense. It's not particularly libertarian.
A libertarian believes that anybody can have any opinion they want, so long as they don't force that opinion on somebody else.
Sure.
If they choose to live with other people with a similar opinion, they're not forcing it on other people.
No, that seems efficient.
So what you have at that point is sort of a free private city situation model, and that is
no,
very
it doesn't
libertarian.
have to be a city, dude. Cities are where statism comes from and everything. They have to be decentralized little farms and forest people like Ewoks. We have to live in and I'm being serious, living in tree huts, horticulture, right? Working with nature to provide instead of working against nature, which is what agriculture is. Horticulture.
So what is this alt-right pipeline? Is it only the idea that people leave libertarianism to join the alt-right, or is it also it goes the other way, that people can leave the alt-right and join libertarianism?
Well, I'm sure it does.
What I saw was the guy was had pretty far-right views. He was basically on the borderline of being an outright fascist. He said, "I'm not 1488." Well, but, he was kind of, that means I am straddling the fence of 1488.
He knew what 1488 was.
1488 is a code by the alt-right. Isn't it some sort of white supremacist
88 stands for Heil Hitler.
Okay. What's the 14?
14 words.
What is it? 14 what?
14 words of something that Hitler said. We must create a homeland for a white race or whatever.
Okay, so free market. So free market penguin. So you know what that means. So are you straddling the line since you know what 1488 means?
Hey, you know what? I mean, dude, I'm not saying that these people have some kind of, they're absolutely insane. I totally understand where some of the far right are coming from. Yeah, I want to have borders between my people and yours because that's a part of free association. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's the whole idea that I don't want to hear a bunch of stuff about trans people and intersectional feminism, but there are people that actually do talk about that stuff all the time, and they believe in free markets and free interaction. And, I don't believe in bottom unity as far as all the libertarian ANCOMs and ANCAPs working together. But
anarcho-communist, anarcho-capitalist. Okay.
Anybody that believes in free market shouldn't let these stupid, pointless, and as a practicing Muslim, for me, completely irrelevant American culture war issues about which bathroom you pee in separate us from seeing what the real enemy is, which is the state. Because guess what? When it comes to what the state and the problem with markets, these people use the same language. They just might not agree with how many genders there are. But with free association, what's the matter?
Good thoughts.
Yeah, I guess I've come to care less and less
about.
Well, just the I'm this hyphenated, that hyphenated, the other hyphenated. Look, if it's a voluntary interaction, it's fine. If it's not, it's not. And you'll find if you want to choose statism, I think there should be choices for statists.
Sure, people should be able to hire somebody to tell them what to do.
And frankly, I think that if you stay in the United States, you are choosing statism.
Well, I mean, where else are you supposed to go?
I'll hope to have some answers for you.
But right now,
well, New Hampshire could secede anytime it wants.
Well, but where else can you go? I mean, right now, there's nowhere else to go where there aren't statists who are in control of absolute.
But no, what you guys are getting wrong is the state only exists in your mind, so it is nowhere.
Well, the state is just an idea. You're right about that. Unfortunately, it's also an idea held by men and women who hold a lot of guns and cars and clubs.
Don't be gendered biased, Ian, and trannies. There's plenty of statist trannies out there. Excuse me, transgender
Some people
individuals.
believe places on the moon. I wonder if they have a state.
Thank you, Penguin, for
Moon
the
doesn't
call.
exist.
I appreciate it.
So the first leftist shows up, they sure do.
855 450 free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now. Pain in my neck, back, and shoulders has really gotten worse.
Relief for body pain is here with Sunny Bay heating pads.
Well, the last thing I want is to take another pill, so what's so good about Sunny Bay heating pads?
Sunny Bay heating pads, made by Biomed DB Design right here in the USA, come in all sizes. Our extra large microwavable heating pad for back pain is designed to be large enough to cover your entire back. It's also perfect to wrap around your legs, knees, or shoulder and neck.
But I need to know they're good quality.
Of course, Sunny Bay heating pads and pillows are often an Amazon choice, and it's easy and most affordable when you purchase your Sunny Bay heating pads right from our website, sunshinepillows.com, or call us 253-678-1361.
Hey, a Sunny Bay heating pad
would make a great gift, right?
Yes, and they start at just $19.99 and free shipping is available. So call 253-678-1361 or shop for your Sunny Bay heating pad at sunshinepillows.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Even these remaining moments here, we got time for you if you want to join us here at 855-450 free like freedom. Also, it may be the remaining moments of our radio show, but we do have our live Twitch only after show coming up over at twitch.lrn.fm right after the radio show is over. We'll take a quick news break, and we will be back on our Twitch feed shortly thereafter at twitch.lrn.fm. Ian, Vincent, and Mark, we've been reading and sharing with you the response by Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is a scientist, somewhat well known, tends to be a part of television shows and comments on things.
Right.
And so, he's been accused of some of the weakest allegations in certain couple of cases, but then one of them of straight up drugging and raping somebody in the early 1980s, apparently.
Right.
Which has just surfaced as of recently, and apparently this woman doesn't actually remember what happened to her.
Her evidence that she was drugged and raped was that she doesn't remember the evening.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, a drugged raped person would not remember the evening.
Well, and it's not evidence; it's just a circumstance.
It's an assertion on her part.
Well, it's evidence in the sense that she's made an accusation. So in court,
so a testimony could be considered evidence.
Testimony is evidence.
Sworn testimony is considered evidence.
Right. Well, I mean, in this case, it is the only testimony that we have. So it is evidence of something. It's
a claim. I'm not going to say that's evidence.
Well, I would call it a claim. A claim is a form of evidence. That's all I would say.
Well, has she sworn under the threat of perjury or whatever? Okay, so then, but you said a sworn statement is evidence.
She ought to be held responsible for her statement, whether she's been sworn or not. I mean, what kind of parallel universe do we have where, I wasn't in court, so I don't have to tell the truth?
I don't think I don't think you can say that a claim is evidence. You have to back a claim with evidence. You make a claim saying, I did this, or I believe this, or whatever, and then you have the evidence to back that up. In this case, she has a claim, but no actual evidence.
So testimony is considered evidence, and this is not sworn testimony, but it is testimony. Like testimony, you read the New Testament, that is simply some people talking, and that's all it is.
So Mark, when you say it's evidence, if someone, we were talking about defamation, if someone says so would you say that it's fair to say there's evidence that Neil deGrasse Tyson did these horrible things?
I'd say that there's the evidence is of the flimsiest sort. This is the way I would describe it.
That is such a cop-out, dude. Oh my God. I can't believe you're taking yourself seriously.
I would simply say,
really?
Sometimes I wonder if he is, too. Yeah, I think he is, though. Look, the definition of evidence, that which tends to prove or disprove something, ground for belief, proof. That's definition 1. 2, something that makes plain or clear an indication or sign. And then 3 is law, data presented to a court or jury, and proofs of the facts in issue, which may include the testimony of witnesses, records, documents, or objects. Until this woman's sworn under oath, no court's going to consider her statement evidence.
All right.
And until outside of a court of law under oath, it's not evidence. It's just a claim.
So it's not evidence until it's been entered into the court of law. So therefore, nothing this woman could have shown, like photographs of her gagged, which of course don't exist, would then also not be evidenced by your estimation because they haven't been given to the court yet.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm telling you that if your claim was if you make a claim that's evidence.
Yes.
And I'm telling you that's only true in the case of being sworn in testimony in a court, because court is different from real life. Court is legal land. In reality, a claim is not evidence. You have to have evidence to back the claim. Pictures would be evidence. Maybe they'd be bad evidence or not particularly good evidence, but it would at least be something to back the claim. Oh, here's me with a ball gag. Here's the date on the photograph, and here's my, Neil deGrasse's arm in the picture or whatever. See, here's the, he's got a little birthmark on his arm, and there it is. There's your evidence to back the claim. I mean, this is basic, English here.
All I'm saying is the testimony is evidence. Fine, if it really bothers you.
Okay, so
we're going to move on.
Yeah, let's just go on and read.
Because you're wrong about that. But go ahead.
All right. So Neil deGrasse Tyson says, "I'm the accused. So why believe anything I say? Why believe me at all?"
Wait, wasn't that at the beginning as well?
That's how that was
He's
the headline.
bookending it.
Oh, I see.
They quoted him, and here's the quote from the thing. Why believe me at all? That brings us back to the value of an independent investigation, which Fox, Nat Geo, networks on which Cosmo and Star Talk air, announced that they will conduct. I welcome this. Accusations can damage a reputation and a marriage, sometimes irreversibly. I see myself as a loving husband, as a public servant, a scientist, an educator who serves at the will of the public. I'm grateful for the support I've received from those who continue to respect and value me and my work. Respectfully submitted, Neil deGrasse Tyson, New York City. So there you go. That's this is what it's like but the best I can tell, this is what it's like when an innocent man is accused of, caught up in this Me Too stuff.
Frustrating.
And accused of shoulder groping. I'm not sure.
Accused and admitted to shoulder groping. Whoopie-doo.
Right. So the media just
You don't
wants,
like it? Say something right then. Don't wait 9 months or years or whatever it was. 9 years later. I don't care if it's 9 days later. Say something right then if it's inappropriate.
How insensitive, Ian. Why do you hate women? Why do you hate survivors, Ian?
I don't care if it's a woman or a man or whoever it is that's being touched in a way they don't like it. You got to say something right then.
I do. If you say something right then, it's clear a line's been crossed. I think you can look at something in retrospect and be kind of like, huh.
Well, that was weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Well, then it wasn't a big deal. If it wasn't in the moment, if it wasn't upsetting in the moment, and you look back and you're like, well, that was weird, that's not something to be offended about, I don't think.
And what he admits to doing is a fraction less weird than what like Joe Biden is seen doing, like on C-SPAN anytime for his kids.
Creepy Uncle Joe.
Creepy Uncle Joe, absolutely. The guy, he like puts
Isn't it kids and women, just generally?
Usually it's women kids.
Somebody's getting groped. There's no doubt.
Women kids.
Women kids, that too. We call those girls. In English, that's girls. So it's, when I've had situations where I look back on things and like, that's weird, but I didn't say anything at the time, Ian. I couldn't tell you the people who did this, but often it's happened multiple times in my life. I'll wear like a tight-fitting shirt, and people will touch my nipples.
When's the last time this happened?
It's been years.
Like just a
I probably
brush?
looked better.
Did you just tweak them?
They'll reach out and tweak them at the same time.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Was it men?
Men and women.
And women. Okay.
Have done it, and it's just. It's been some time.
Yeah.
And then again, I'm not the buff guy that I was 10 years ago either, Ian.
Yeah.
But,
Just try that on me, you get your hand removed. I don't know what the hell kind of people you've been hanging out with.
I think it's just a different world at a different time. And I was like, huh. But it's happened so often to me that I was like, whatever. I guess people just do this. And I haven't even said anything like, what are you doing? Like, I don't even do that. I didn't even do that. I just like...
Kind of like the Pillsbury Doughboy where people will poke him, right?
It's like that. Right. Do people even poke fat guys anymore? I don't get poked.
Yeah.
I've moved into the fat guy status. I'm over 200 pounds. So what do you want from me?
I thought you were under that.
I'm up, I'm down.
Well, what's your BMI? It depends on the BMI.
Somewhere around 20%.
I thought you were. I thought you were raving about the whole not eating during a certain hours. You stop eating it at night and then you don't eat until like 3 p.m. What was that called? Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting. Yeah.
Have you stopped doing the intermittent fasting, or it stopped working, or
Thanksgiving occurred? Basically.
Okay, so you ate too much is the idea?
I stopped, following the rules.
Oh, so you stopped after Thanksgiving, and now it's just you're just eating whenever?
Well, I'm not eating whenever, but I need to get back to actually waiting until 3 p.m. to eat.
Well, the way to have cheat meals work is you have to, when you're done eating, you go to the bathroom, you take the fork, touch the back of your throat, and then the cheat meal is gone. That's why it's called a cheat meal, because it doesn't count.
I've never even considered this.
That's how millions of girls stay skinny.
It's
Instagram
not healthy,
models.
Bad advice. It's called bulimia.
Just make sure you have fluoride rinse, but don't drink any of it, just so your teeth don't get messed up the enamel because all the acids from your stomach.
Real bad stuff.
Because enamel
Girls,
once
don't
it's
try
gone,
this at home.
Enamel once it's gone, you can't get it back. So that's the one good place where fluoride is, just as long as you don't ingest it.
That is absolutely true. I mean, that is good advice to not do those things, to not induce vomiting on yourself. The only time you should be inducing vomiting is if you've accidentally dosed on a bunch of pills for whatever reason, or you've decided you want to kill yourself and then decide you don't want to kill yourself. That would be an appropriate time to induce.
Or you just finished eating and you're like, I shouldn't have.
Why would you want to induce vomiting with a fork?
Well, because, it's
most people use their finger, I think.
Do you use the back of the fork?
Why use your finger? That's so unsanitary. You don't have a gross stuff on your finger.
Apparently, if you're using the same
fork. Jab yourself with a fork.
No, not jab it. You sort of tickle it with a fork.
Have you tried this?
No.
Okay, then I wouldn't give...
I detest vomiting.
Okay, good. Don't give advice for something you haven't done yourself.
No, I'm just saying some people use it. It's an anecdote.
Hey, we got more coming up, but not on the radio. If you're here with us on the radio, join us again tomorrow. We'll probably be there as well over at freetalklive.com. You can download the podcast and all that, but if you want to hear more uncensored by the FCC, go to twitch.lrn.fm. Join us on our Twitch channel here in moments.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know we've taken our LRN